I get it, I get it. Bro, I literally, that is what it feels like with this. That is what it feels like with this. Hi besties, what's up? My name is Meg. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are doing something a little different. As you might know, I have annotated books in the past. However, I want to attempt to annotate books like others do when you see them online. Now, I will be using my annotating strips in case for some reason that it's just not exactly what I'm wanting. However, we are going to be annotating our book of Recursion by Blake Crouch. I'm so super excited for this. I love dark matter. I honestly cannot wait to read this one. So let's get right on into this video where we attempt to annotate a book like a different reader. So I have my big bag of annotating supplies. Okay, so we really haven't gotten too far into the book. We literally just got to book one. I'm unsure completely as to how I'm going to go about annotating this book. I do know for sure, I think we're going to start off with at least 4 different annotating types. I think yellow is going to be, I think I might need to write these down. Okay, so I just annotated the annotating strips and I decided on, because I have these annotating sticky notes that are yellow, blue, green, and red. And so I figured what we can do is we have 4 different things. So yellow is going to be quotes, red is going to be plot, so whether that's foreshadowing, whatever. Emotion is blue, and then other is green. So whether that's a theme that I think is a constant runner out through, or if it's just something that I feel isn't relevant to any of these other categories, that's the category that it would then go under. Okay, so I think I decided what I want like the green to be as far as our annotating strips, and I think I'm going to have it be descriptions that I really like. So I found that I really liked these descriptions, and it was a sprawling mahogany desk buried under files and paperwork, a circular table covered in notebooks and mugs of cold, bitter smelling coffee, a wet bar stocked exclusively with bottles of Macallan Rare, a glowing aquarium that hums on the far side of the room and contains a small shark and several tropical fish. I, for some reason, just really love the descriptions. Also, I don't know too much about Recursion going into it. I just kind of want to be as blind as I can be, and yeah, there isn't necessarily like actual chapters, but maybe more so like points of view, and that's supposed to be the chapter. So far during this time, we have gathered that there is such thing called FMS, which is false memory syndrome. And this is right off the bat, so none of this is spoiler. Our male main character is a detective that comes to a building and he meets this woman that has a resolute of offing herself, of literally jumping off a building. And she's telling him all about these false memories that she says that they have. She says that it's very typical that the people around them think that it's only big memories that they remember. However, she's telling him that it's all of these little different memories. She's like, I can remember fighting over the cake. I remember how my husband's breath smelled in the morning before he got up to brush his teeth. Like all of these little itty bitty things that you don't think that they would remember with these false memories, because it's such a broad term, I guess, in their world, that it's just such broad terms. I liked the one description, and then I found that I really liked another description, and it was, her palms flat against the stone has been weathered by decades of acid rain. A quote that I really did like was, the only thing he was sure of is that his feet are freezing. I don't know why. Found that hilarious. Obviously, we talked about the false memories. Another quote that I really liked was, this low point isn't the book of your life, it's just a chapter. And I'm loving everything about it. Memory makes reality. That's what New York City cop Barry Sutton is learning as he investigates the devastating phenomenon the media has dubbed false memory syndrome, a mysterious affliction that drives its victims mad with memories of a life they never lived. That's what neuroscientist Helena Smith believes. It's why she's dedicated her life to creating a technology that will let us preserve our most precious memories. If she succeeds, anybody will be able to re-experience a first kiss, the birth of a child, a final moment with a dying parent. As Barry searches for the truth, he comes face to face with the opponent more terrifying than any disease, a force that attacks not just our minds, but the very fabric of the past. And as its effects begin to unmake the world as we know it, only he and Helena, working together, will stand a chance at defeating it. But how can they make a stand when reality itself is shifting and crumbling all around them? So we are now that far into the book. We're only about 30 pages in. I will admit that annotating is taking longer than I would like this to. Like, I really don't like the fact that this is taking so long to annotate the book. I think I'm more of a person that likes to annotate when it's something that really stands out. But as far as like, and I know some people who do like 8 different tabs. Like, no, I'm just trying to do 4, and I'm finding that it's just taking so much longer. Granted, I know that a lot more people do it with like highlighters or pens or whatever the case may be. I just have a thing right now of, I never used to care that much, but there's a part of me that's like, I really like keeping my books in a certain stature, and I'm slightly afraid to mark in my books. I think I also feel that way. Granted, Blake Crouch is an author that's like automatic keep, automatic buy. His work is something that I don't think I could actually hate. I'm enjoying it as it's going on right now. There's only 326 pages in this book. As of right now, our main character, Barry, he finds a police report. I highlighted a plot point that says, he's been a detective for 23 years because he loves solving puzzles, and this contradictory set of events is whispering to him a misalignment he feels a compulsion to put right. Now, what I think is interesting is that Barry's point of view takes place in 2018, whereas Helena's point of view takes place in the years of like 2008, possibly even 2009. And so I'm very confused as to how almost this 10-year difference is going to be put right. Like, I don't necessarily know that. points, if that makes sense. So I'm just slightly wondering here and there, like, what could possibly be. A thought I just had is, what if Helena is the person who developed the FMS, which is the false memory syndrome, and that's why it's showing the past present timelines? That's the only thing I can really think of. Okay, I understand why people annotate books. For some reason, I'm just having a hard time of getting through the story because I feel the need to stop whenever, and I really don't feel like I'm fully enjoying the book to the biggest of options. So I don't think I'm going to annotate it as deeply as I was when we first started. However, I am going to continue to annotate. But we are now that far into the book. I'm having fun. I'm trying to figure out how these two timelines are going to end up converging into the one timeline. I don't know if that's actually what'll happen, and we're just going to annotate as we go for fun now because I'm losing ambition to read this book otherwise. So we're just going to annotate as we see fit and not as intensely. For those of you who can do the annotations so deeply, I highly respect you. Do not get me wrong, I highly respect you. I don't think I am this reader. I don't think that I'm the type of reader to do that. I'm too much of a person who wants to read the book sometimes as fast as they can and like fully just feel immersed in the story, and I really don't feel that I'm getting that right now. And that's kind of what's a big bummer about all of this is that, okay, so now I kind of see how the science is working behind recursion. Now, something that's interesting is knowing that somehow it's taken them from one timeline and put them into a new timeline. And that's where you get like because at some point in time, these overlap. So I'm just kind of like trying to figure out like everything. I don't know. I have kind of given up on annotating. I tried so hard to annotate, and I kind of feel like a failure for trying, but I think I get too much pleasure out of just reading the book to read the book. And hey, if you like annotating, that's great for you. Me, however, on the other hand, I have just more fun reading the book and not feeling the need to add extra work into it. I think I used to annotate the book a lot when I was in high school, and that was because of things that I needed to comprehend for classes and other things along those lines. And I think I'm still going to annotate it just a tad, but I don't think that I'm going to annotate it as intensely as I was when I first started the book. Either way, I'm enjoying the book. I love Blake Crouch's writing. I love it for the fact that it is so scientific. This kind of reminds me of like Project Hail Mary in a way, because like our main female character, who's a neuroscientist, she is signing an NDA, and like she goes and lives on like this old oil rig in the middle of the ocean and everything like that. And it just very much gives off Project Hail Mary vibes, and I'm still very much in that mindset of Project Hail Mary, which we absolutely loved. But Blake Crouch, I love his writing so much. There is just something so equally wonderful about this book that Blake Crouch is able to bring to life with it. Okay, y'all, let's just pretend for 1 second that like when I read Dark Matter, that I thought Dark Matter was like a huge epitome of like a mindfuck. Yeah, so Recursion, I feel like is way worse than Dark Matter was, as far as like the plot twist aspect, mindfuck, whatever you want to call it. Up, down, left, right, I don't friggin' know, but like Recursion, I'm absolutely baffled by it right now. Literally got to book 3. Each one of the books starts off with a quote. So like the first book started off with the quote of, "Time is but memory in the making, Vladimir Nabokov." And then shortly thereafter, too, it says, "We are homesick most for the places we have never known, Carson McCullers." And now book 3 says, "Time is what keeps everything from happening at once, Ray Cummings." So I love that somehow, shape, and form, each one of these books has, like, in a way, what the chapter is going to encapsulate by itself. I absolutely love Blake Crouch's writing. I think he is by far become one of my new favorite authors. His mind is just so brilliant. Like, I honestly just, I think of like Marvel with like the multiverse, like how they're dealing with that and how like they gotta, it's in Loki, where like they're the time people, and also Future Meg will put it right here on screen. It just reminds me so much of that, and honestly, I cannot stop thinking about like the Marvel multiverse and how like in No Way Home they had all 3 Spider-Mans and just like all this and all that, and like, bro, I literally, that is what it feels like with this. That is what it feels like with this, and I absolutely love it. I am a Marvel stan, bro. I am loving this book so much. I'm having such a fun time. Okay, so we are that far of the way through the book. We have 131 pages left for us to go. We finally made it to book 4, and book 4's quote is, "He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past." George Orwell, 1984. My thoughts on annotating. I can see pros and cons to absolutely both. Here's my thing though. If it's a book that I don't know if I want to actually physically write in, the strips are nice, because especially if it's a book that like I come to find, oh, it's not a book that I enjoy, it's one that I want to get rid of, then I just take all the strips out and throw them away. However, this does take time. This part of it takes so much time. If I were highlighting or underlining in the book, that'd be different. This, however, is so hard, but I'm so indecisive on whether or not I actually want annotations in my book to begin with. I understand the 8 now, I understand it, and I get it. What do I think of the book so far? I'm having a blast. Okay, I have officially made a stopping point. We are that far the way through the book. We have 76 pages left for us to go. Easy read tomorrow morning. Easy read. So it's the next day. We have 76 pages left of Recursion, so I'm going to complete it. I'm going to attempt to continue to annotate as much as I can. I honestly will leave all of my thoughts of annotating till the very, very end. Okay, loves, so we just finished Recursion, and oh my gosh, I love Blake Crouch's writing so much. I think this book in particular, I want to say that I really enjoyed this book. However, I don't think I enjoyed it any more than I did Dark Matter. I think I enjoyed Dark Matter just a tad bit more than I did this one. I do like, though, how the book kind of ends off on a cliffhanger, and I feel like it's appropriate for what the book ends up being. Now, the purpose of this video was to not give you a review of Recursion. It was to give you a review of the annotations that I did within Recursion. And boy, oh boy, I have some thoughts. I love that for you if you can do the whole annotation thing, like to better understand the world, better understand the book, better understand the characters, like all of that. I love that for you. However, it's not for me. In fact, I despise it. I like highlighting certain phrases here and there. I started out really strong towards the beginning. You can see right here, we started out really strong. And then as we went on, it slowly and slowly became less and less. Trying to read like another reader is definitely something that is very hard to do. Now, when I say this, I mean like it's definitely time consuming. So if you're one who doesn't follow things easily, I am just a fast reader. So for me personally, I've found that the annotating actually had slowed me down in reading. And I feel like I could have read this a lot faster than what I ended up reading it. I still enjoyed the book nonetheless, and I'm still so happy I read it. However, annotating for me is not the thing. I'm still gonna keep my annotation strips. I'm still gonna keep all that. Like, trust me, don't get me wrong. However, I'm only going to be annotating certain things here and there when I decide that like that's, oh, hey, I'd like to remember this, or oh, hey, I'd like to remember that. But it's definitely not something that I think I'm going to bring myself to come around to as a reader. Also, another thing is like if I'm reading a book that I am not necessarily sure that I'll like, at least with like these annotation strips that I use, these sticky note ones, they're easily to peel out. That is all that I have for today, as I tried to be a different reader by annotating. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Do all of the YouTube things you know how to do, and I will see you in a bit. Bye!